Welcome back, you guys, and I did a video a few days ago about NBA players that I think that deserve more respect. Now how about a video on players that I think have been disappointing as of January 2018. This is not a hate video, I'm simply talking about their on-court production. These players individually have not performed up to expectations that they had before the season. However, there is one player in here that I had zero expectations for, but he's been so bad that I have to put him in the video. Remember, this is just my opinion. I'm going to be as fair as possible. Let me know if you disagree with any of the players on here. Don't hesitate to drop a comment, so let's go into the first player.
What kind of shot is that? Have you ever shot that shot? Do you work on that shot? When?
Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Where do I start? So over the summer, he declined a 5-year, $80 million contract from the Detroit Pistons, and it apparently wasn't even close to what he was looking for. He took a 1-year deal with the Lakers to prove to other NBA teams that he is worth more than that $80 million contract over 5 years, and that plan so far has not gone as expected. KCP has been getting locked up on and off the court, and he's not exactly putting up numbers that make you say, wow, I really hope my favorite team signs him to a long-term deal. KCP is a 3-and-D player that is inconsistent from the three-point line and has inconsistent effort on defense. He has played some good perimeter defense this year, but just a few days ago against Charlotte, Luke Walton had to bench him in the second half because of poor defensive effort. KCP finished that game with 0 points, 0 rebounds, and 0 assists. So you guys know when NBA teams have the press conference for the new players they sign, the GM says they're excited to bring him in and he's going to do well for the team. Let me know what you think of this quote from GM Rob Pelinka on KCP over the summer. When Magic and I were really thinking about the architecture around this team and how we wanted to build it, the two of us could not tailor stitch a more perfect two guard. He has a mentality that is consistent with what Magic brought to the table, what Kobe Bryant brought to the table. KCP is about winning and playing the game the right way. Well, I can agree that KCP has Kobe Bryant confidence, but he severely lacks the Kobe Bryant basketball skills part. To be fair to Magic and Pelinka, I do not think anyone thought KCP would be this disappointing. KCP has had his moments of big shot making, but overall, he has not made an $80 million impact. If you are a player whose job it is to make threes and play defense, but you're inconsistent in both of those areas, it's going to be hard to convince a team you are worth taking up a large portion of their salary cap. And to be fair to KCP, he was dealing with a jail sentence. I don't know, maybe it messed up his headspace and he couldn't play focused. He still has a few months to increase his value, but he's gonna have to do a lot to prove to another team that he's worth signing to a big contract. I know Lakers fans are glad this is just a 1-year deal. Let's go into the second player. If you have watched the Wolves in December and this early January, you know why I have Andrew Wiggins on this list. When a team pays somebody $30 million per year and that guy is not scoring efficiently, not defending well, and is not playing with consistent effort, then the big contract will come into question and people will start to lose a bit of faith in you. Check this out. Wiggins is on pace to take 1,280 shots, and he's on pace to have a true shooting percentage of 49.9. The only player in the past decade to take more than 1,280 shots with a lower true shooting percentage is Monte Ellis back in 2012-2013. Wiggins is playing a bit different of a role this year. He's more of a third option, but it's not like he's not getting any shot attempts. He has taken more shots than Jimmy Butler and Karl Anthony Towns this year. He leads the Wolves in shot attempts. So what has he been good at this year? Well, he's been good at finishing at the rim. Wiggins is still very effective at finishing at the rim. When Wiggins gets past his defender and has momentum, he's very tough to stop. But the problem right now is that he's driving to the rim less and settling for mid-range jump shots. Not to mention he's also getting to the free throw line less often. Andre Drummond, a guy who has been terrible at the free throw line his whole career, he's been better now, and he currently has a higher free throw percentage than Wiggins. Wiggins was a 76% free throw shooter last year. This season, he's down to 62%. As a scorer, Wiggins has been disappointing, and that's what he's projected to be coming into the league, a really good scorer. And if he continues to not score efficiently while getting paid $30 million a year, more people are going to start to criticize him. As always, to be fair to Wiggins, he is only 22, he's in a bit of a different role, but he is just not shooting well at all. Minnesota as a team has been playing well though. Let's give him some time because I am a fan of him, but right now it's hard to defend how he's playing. Okay, so third player on here, I have Carter-Williams. This is who I was talking about in the beginning of the video. He is the player that I did not have expectations for. Someone actually made a compilation of his missed layups this year. He's been that bad. If you're wondering, Michael is shooting 26% on layups. There are so many NBA players that shoot a better percentage from 24 feet out than what Carter-Williams shoots at the rim. Not only has he been bad on layups, he still can't make a jump shot. Michael has shot 14 of 64 on jump shots this year. That is 22%. These stats are from basketballreference.com. I'm not sure what's going on in Charlotte. They just brought Malik Monk up from the G League. Malik hasn't been great, but you might as well play Monk over MCW at this point. Monk might be worse on defense, but the Hornets should give him more time. They probably aren't making the playoffs. I'm sure you guys are aware of what a sophomore slump is. Well, that is what Thon Maker is currently going through right now. Thon had a pretty good series against Toronto. He was showing off how terrifying of a defender he could be. Since that series, the expectations for him got bigger. Kevin Garnett said that he thought Thon could be an MVP, and a lot of fans thought he could be a special player. So do I like Thon, but he has not improved this season. Thon started the first 7 games of the year, but he got benched for John Henson. Thon is playing double the minutes he got last year and really not making an impact. From the games I've watched, he looks lost on defense, he's not a rebounder, and he's not an athletic finisher at the rim. In my opinion, Jason Kidd is using him weird on offense. Kidd has encouraged Thon to take long mid-range jump shots. Thon has been good at those mid-range shots, but this is a problem because the Bucks already struggle with floor spacing, and I just don't see why you want to have a guy in Giannis's way when he wants to drive to the rim. Check this out, and it has nothing to do with Thon. Over the summer, Jason Tatum was going off in scrimmages against his teammates taking mid-range jump shots, but head coach Brad Stevens told him he wasn't going to let him fall in love with the mid-range jump shots. He wanted Tatum to take threes. Coaching matters in developing players, and even though Tatum is good at shooting mid-range shots, Brad knows that threes are better shots to take, and it helps the floor spacing. And I think Kidd needs to recognize this because not only will it help Thon's development, it will give more room for Giannis to drive. He has shot better from the field the past few games, but he still looks lost on defense. Of course, he's still pretty raw, so give him time, but I thought he could be a good starter for the Bucks this year, but Henson has been outplaying him. Just last year, George Hill was helping the Utah Jazz get to the second round of the playoffs. Now this year with the Sacramento Kings, he's sharing minutes with De'Aaron Fox, Frank Mason, and a number of other guards on Sacramento's roster. When he signed with the Kings over the summer, I was confused because I thought at the age of 31, Hill should be looking to sign to a team that is going to make the playoffs. A report came out last month that George Hill is apparently unhappy after Kings Vice President of Basketball Operations promised him that the Kings would be competing for the playoffs. I'm not sure what Hill was expecting. You signed with the Sacramento Kings, a team that has not made the playoffs since 2006. The roster just does not fit Hill at all. The point guard minutes should be going to Fox and Mason so they can develop. If you look at his per game averages, they look somewhat respectable, I guess. He's shooting pretty well from 3, but he has not been an impact player. He's not getting too involved on offense. His shot attempts are way down from last year. It's simple. Hill should have accepted that 4-year, $88 million contract with Utah, but his agent somehow convinced him not to take that deal. Before the season started, he was expected to be a veteran presence for their young point guards, but he has openly shown his frustration on Twitter, implied that he would not mind a trade off the team, and is getting paid $40 million over the next 2 years to barely average 10 points per game. Definitely a disappointing year for George Hill so far. And those are 5 players that I think have been disappointing this year. I was going to put Bismack Biyombo on here, but now that Vucevic is hurt, Biyombo is finally getting more minutes, so let's see how he does over the next month or so. Also, I wasn't going to put rookies in here because I don't think that's really fair. I appreciate it if you made it to the end of the video. I sometimes do older NBA story videos, but I also like talking about what's currently happening in the league, so I'm going to try to switch it up every once in a while. I'm interested to see what players you believe are playing below expectations, so I'll see you guys in my next video.